Welcome to section 2, Getting Your Hands Dirty with Jira 7. In this section, we are going to take a look at planning your Jira installation, installing Jira, maintaining Jira, where we will discuss the upgrade and housekeeping activities, and then we'll discuss the best practices for maintaining your Jira instance. Planning your Jira installation. In this video, we are going to take a look at how big your Jira instance going to be. Then we will discuss the right platform that you need to choose for your Jira installation. Then we will discuss the right version of Jira that you need to identify based on the requirements and the list of required apps to fulfill your specific requirements. And finally, we will discuss how you should document the customizations and various use cases that you want to do in your Jira instance. How big your Jira instance going to be? Well, before installing Jira, the first question that you need to ask yourself is identify the number of users who will be using Jira. Do you need a Jira instance for just 10 users, or maybe you need a Jira instance for 50 users, or maybe 5,000 users? This is one of the most crucial questions that you should first ask yourself. How many projects you want to create in Jira? If you want to manage just 2 projects, then maybe a simple Jira server is sufficient. But in case you need to manage hundreds or maybe thousands of projects, then maybe you need a Jira data center deployment. So this is again one of the most important question that you need to ask yourself in the very beginning. What will be the projected usage in 6 months and 1 year from now? Right now, if you need your Jira instance to manage just a couple of projects, then after a couple of months or maybe after 6 months, what will be the projected usage? Do you think you need to increase the number of users or maybe the number of projects? Then this will help you in identifying the right platform right in the beginning. Will Jira be accessed from multiple locations? And finally, is Jira really crucial and mission critical for your business? Can you afford a downtime? If the answer is no, you cannot really afford a downtime, then you really need a Jira data center version. So these questions will actually help you identify the right platform that you need to choose right in the beginning. Choice of platform. Based on all the questions that you just answered about how big your Jira installation is going to be, you then need to identify the server hardware requirements. Basically, you want to identify the amount of CPU, memory, and disk space that you need to have on the server. Fortunately, there is actually a recommendation from Atlassian. If you go to the link displayed on the screen right now, you will be able to take a look at some of the recommended hardware requirements from Atlassian. So on this page, you can take a look at the right amount of CPU, memory, and disk space that you need to have on the server. So if you click on server-side installation requirement for production, you can actually take a look at what kind of a CPU or maybe the amount of RAM is sufficient for your Jira instance. For example, if you're talking about a small Jira instance with not many projects, then maybe a server with 2 GB of RAM is sufficient. But based on maybe a different requirement, you might need to have a bigger server. So I highly recommend take a look at this particular page to get some idea about what kind of a server you might need. At the same time, when you have the server with you, you also need to identify the platform, which means the choice of operating system and the database. Are you more comfortable working on a Windows server, or maybe you are more comfortable working on a Linux server, or maybe in your company you have already a team of Linux administrators? Then definitely you can go for Linux. But Jira actually works on Java, and you can have Windows-based machine or you can have a Linux-based machine. It doesn't really matter. It is more of your own personal choice or maybe the competency that you have in the company. But if you need some recommendations, fortunately, again, there is a recommended page on the Atlassian website. If you go to the link displayed on the screen right now, you can actually take a look at the supported platforms where you can identify the exact Java version that you might need on the server. You can also take a look at some of the operating system recommendations, and you can also take a look at what kind of configurations that you might need to do on the server. So again, I recommend you to go to this particular link and take a look at some of these recommended supported platforms. Identify Jira version and list of required apps. Do you need the latest Jira version? Well, in most cases, if you install the latest stable release of Jira, then you will be totally fine. But I highly recommend you first identify what exactly you want to do with Jira. Maybe you need to have an add-on installed on your server, but that add-on is not really compatible with the most recent version of Jira. So you need to actually identify your requirements and also take a look at the compatibility of all the apps that you might need. Document the customizations and use cases. When you install Jira for the very first time, don't just start using Jira out of the box. It is always a good idea to first gather the requirements from all the stakeholders. For example, if you need to use Jira for end-to-end project management, then please organize a meeting or maybe a workshop with all the stakeholders in different departments. Maybe talk to the person who is managing your Scrum team, who is maybe the project manager of your development team, and also discuss it with all the other stakeholders like, the testing department or maybe the support team. And once you identify those requirements, agree on the necessary configurations that you need to do in your Jira instance, and prepare the high-level solution design document based on those agreed necessary configurations. And this document is something that you always need to keep on updating and also maintain a version of this document. Basically, this document will contain the list of all the configurations that you will have in your Jira instance. And at the same time, if in future there is a change required in your Jira instance, then first update this document, get a sign off from all the stakeholders, and then perform the necessary configuration or change on your Jira instance. So if you maintain a document right from the very beginning, it will really help you in maintaining a healthy Jira instance. In the next video, we will discuss installing Jira.